New information will make room for new ideas, and new ideas will make room for new earnings. In the course of the program, we will talk about money is an idea. When we get there, we'll break it down for you to really understand what we mean by money is an idea. But at the moment, let's just say that new information will give room to new ideas, and then new ideas will bring new earning. Somebody said that ideas rules the world, and I believe it, and I agree with it. Ideas rules the world. People pay for ideas. Listen, nobody pays you for nothing. Nobody pays you for doing nothing. Somebody cannot just look at you and say, oh, Mike, I love your face. You look so handsome, and then give you money. No, it doesn't work that way. People pay you for ideas. Ideas rules the world. What does it mean? Now, let's go back to the example of Facebook. Okay? Right now, the last time I checked, about 1.5 billion people, more than that, are on Facebook. More than 1.5 billion. Now, that is more like the total population of Africa. Okay? Now, these people are on Facebook, and they are there putting information, getting information, socializing, and the rest of that. And for everything that they are doing, Mark Zuckerberg is getting paid. He's making so much money. The Facebook platform was his idea. The Facebook platform was his idea. So if you are on his idea, he is the one ruling you because he provided a platform for you. If you are there for marketing, he gave you that platform. If you are there to socialize, he gave you that platform. If you are there to network, he gave you that platform. So whatever it is, he is the one that gave you the platform. So his idea is ruling whatever it is you are doing. If the platform is not there, then you may not be able to do whatever it is that you want to do. So that's what we mean by ideas rules the world. And for every idea that is ruling the world, people pay for it. That is why Facebook is making so much money, Twitter is making so much money, Zoom is making so much money, because he has made it very, very easy for people to communicate, teleconferencing. Wherever you are in any part of the world, you can talk with the person on the other side, you can see the person on the other side, and it makes communication very, very easy and very, very simple. So, you want to make money? Seek information. We have talked about financial discipline. We have talked about seeking information. Seek information. Jesus Christ said, when you seek, you will find. The reason is that you cannot find what you are not looking for. You can't find what you are not looking for. It is what you are looking for consciously, is what you are looking for deliberately that you find. If you find what you were not looking for, you will not know that you have seen it because you are not looking for it. So if you are looking for something, you are sure what you're looking for, you know what you're looking for, you are all out looking for it, and when you find it, you will know that yes, this is what I'm looking for. All right? Now, let's move on. Number 3, the poor are never learning. They don't learn. But the rich will always learn. Somebody said that history will always repeat itself because men have refused to learn. History will always repeat itself because men have refused to learn. You know, I'm laughing because it just occurred to me, when it comes to your family, I'm not trying to be sarcastic now, but let's be practical. You see in a family, the grandfather was poor, the father was poor, and then the son or the present children are also poor. Why? History is repeating itself because they have refused to learn. The question you should ask yourself is, why was my grandfather poor? Okay, and why was my father poor? Now, do I want to remain in that same level of poverty? Now, I said to us that whatever it is we are saying on this program is a product of personal experiences. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I wasn't born into a wealthy family. I was born into abject poverty. But I needed to ask myself. I took a census back to my father, my grandfather, great-grandfather, and I discovered that there was a trend. You know, nobody actually rose above a particular point, a particular level when it comes to their finances. So I told myself, no, it can't be. I need to break these jinx. I need to go above it. All right? I will not allow this history of poverty to replay in my life. So you need to ask yourself, why was your grandfather poor? Was it that there were no opportunities? No, that is not possible. Opportunities abound everywhere. In whatever generation, in whatever age, in whatever decade, opportunities abound everywhere and at all times. It is what you make of it that matters. Let me shock you with this. Poverty is not hereditary. Poverty is not hereditary. The fact that your grandfather was poor and your father was poor does not mean that you should be poor. You can break that jinx and you can come out of it. So, what is the way out? Learn from the mistakes of your foreparents, your forefathers. Learn from their mistakes. Learn from the mistakes of others, because you can't live long enough to make all the mistakes yourself. Learn from their mistakes and don't make the same mistakes. Learn from their mistakes. Let their mistakes be a stepping stone for you to go higher. Learn from their mistakes so that you will not repeat the same mistake. Okay? Let their mistake be the experience that you need for you to transform your own financial status. Don't let what killed your father financially kill you also financially. There's so much opportunities out there, and you cannot allow or afford to allow the history of poverty to replay in your life. All right? Now, let's talk about poverty mental attitude. Poverty mental attitude. The Bible said in the book of Proverbs 23 and verse 7, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. As a man thinks in his heart. If you see yourself as poor, so you will be. If you see yourself as, I can't make it in life, that is the truth. What you say is what will be. If you see yourself as, I am going higher, I am born for excellence, I'm going to break through, I'm going to make it, that is exactly what will be. You can never rise above your thought level. You can't. Let's take an example from the Bible. The children of Israel were given the promise by God of leaving the land of Egypt. I mean, this promise was given as far back as when Abraham was, working with God. Now, God gave the promise. They were going to be slaves in a particular land. And after so many years, He will bring them out and bring them into a land that is flowing with milk and honey. Very fertile land, very prosperous land, and the rest of that. But when it was time for them to get into that land, Moses, the servant of God, sent them to go and spy the land. And when they came back, out of the 12 that went, only 2 gave positive reports. The other 10 said, sir, when we got to the land, we saw the sons of Anak in the place. They were big giants, and we looked like grasshoppers in their eyes. No, we were actually grasshoppers in their eyes. So they saw themselves as grasshoppers in the eyes of the giants, and then that's what they saw actually translated to becoming what they were. We were like grasshoppers, but no, not just grasshoppers, we are actually grasshoppers. And because of the perception, the promise that was given to them by God to inherit the land could not come to pass. Go and read the scriptures. I've taken time to study the Bible, and I've come to realize that when you talk about any manual, any book on finances, the Bible is the first. Now, you will discover that out of the 12, it was only Joshua and Caleb that actually entered into the promised land. These other ones died in the wilderness. They could not partake of the blessings. Number 2, their names were never mentioned. They became irrelevant. So the issue of perception, the issue of your thought, what you think is so important. You can't think of yourself as being down there and you want to be high up there. No. If you are going to be high up there, then you must see yourself as being high up there. This is not motivational speaking. This is the truth. This is what I have experienced, and it has worked for me. And if it's going to work for you, then you must see it as the truth. Okay? If you see yourself as down there, then you will remain down there. But if you see yourself as, I'm going higher, I'm going up, I have an appointment with destiny, that is what it's going to be. So, what is the way out? Renew your mind. Renew your mind. Consciously renew your mind. Speak to yourself. One of the things I used to do those days is to stand before the mirror and then to talk to the image. Of course, that was myself in the mirror. and I tell that image, you are destined to be great. You are born for excellence. You have an appointment with destiny. You are going places, and over time, those things began to play. All right. Now, another thing I did was to give myself to reading. You read and read and read and read. When you read, you are working on your mind. You are expanding your capacity to earn. You are renewing your mind by virtue of the information that you are getting from books. Now, it's not just enough for you to read, just read haphazardly. No, you have to read, with a purpose, because the purpose you have in mind will determine the kind of books that you read. So I was very particular about the kind of books I read. I read books on leadership. I read books on spirituality. I read books about finances and relationship and the rest of that. All right. Renew your mind. Financial transformation comes through the mind that is renewed. If you can't have it in your mind, you can't have it in your hand. If in your mind you are afraid of money, then you can't have money in your hand. If when somebody beside you talks about money and it says $50 million, $100,000, $100 million, and you are afraid, then you're not ready for it. The fact that you don't have it in your hand does not mean that you should not have it in your mind, because when you have it in your mind, then you can have it in your hand. Okay, now if you are going to make money, another thing you need to know is that you cannot afford to be an excuse giver. No. For the rich, there is no excuse. For the rich, it is not about effort, it is about result. Oh, I tried. No. What can you show, or what do you have to show at the end of the day? Florence Nightingale said, I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took an excuse. I never gave an excuse, and I never took an excuse. You see, you can blame your ancestors. You can blame anybody, the government, for your past. They didn't provide education. They didn't send you to a good school. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. That is your past. But for your future, you have yourself to blame. Reason is, your future is in your hands. My father used to say to us those days that the man is the architect of his own life. Yes, you are the architect of your life. The way you draw the pattern of your life, that is the way to be. So if you draw the pattern of your life and you draw it in line with poverty, well, I'm sorry, that is what it's going to be. So no excuse. Stop looking at the government. The government doesn't hold you anything. That's the truth. They don't hold you anything, and you don't hold the government anything. Stop talking about your parents. They've done their part. They've given back to you. They've given you that opportunity to be alive. That is the best your parents can give you. You were not sent to any school. That's not a problem. There are a lot of people that didn't go to school that are wealthy today. You were not given the right background. That's not a problem. You can change it. Okay? I've given you an example of David, who was a nobody, who later became somebody because he took his destiny in his hand. Can I tell you something? In the case of David, when Samuel came to the house to anoint him as king, do you know that even his father forgot that he had a son called David? Go and read your Bible. His father forgot that David was there. You know, he brought out all the other children before Samuel, and Samuel needed to ask him, are these all your children? It was at that point he remembered that, oh, okay, I have a son. He's in the forest. He's taking care of the sheep. So even his father forgot about him. So it's not about who forgot about you. Oh, your uncle forgot about you. Nobody is helping you. You don't need to help anybody to help yourself, to help you. The longest hand that you have to help you is the one attached to your body. The longest hand that you have to help you is the one attached to your body. So don't look for any hand any other place to help you. No more excuses. All right? So what's the way out? Never make excuses. Your friends don't need your excuses. Your colleagues don't need your excuses. Your foes don't need your excuses. Nobody needs them. So there's no point giving excuses. Stop making excuses for your poverty when you can change your status. Stop making excuses for your poverty when you can change your status. Remember, it is in your hand. Now let's talk about personal development. Still on, if you want to make money, you need to focus on personal development. It is very, very, very important. All right. Brian Tracy said that personal development is a major time saver. The better you become, the less time it takes for you to achieve your goals. The better you become, the less time it takes for you to achieve your goals. That simply means that if you don't become better, it will take you a longer time for you to achieve your goals. And in this case now, we are talking about financial goals. So the better you become, the more you work on yourself and you become better, it makes achieving your financial goals easier and faster. Okay, you can't live your life based on chances. You need to live your life based on choices. Your daily choices determines what you be. Somebody said that you make your choices and your choices end up making you. The choices you make every day will end up making you. What does that mean? It means that the choices you make every day will determine what you will become. So if you choose to be sleeping while others are out there working and trying to make ends meet, at the end of the day, when they have what to eat, of course, you will not have what to eat. If you decide as a student, to spend your time playing and enjoying yourself while others are in the library reading and studying, at the end of the day, they will have success in the academics. Of course, you cannot have success, or you will not have success because you cannot eat your cake and have it. So the choices you make will turn around to make you. What's the way out when it comes to the issue of personal development? The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. So you need to consciously decide to be what you want to be. So what do you want to be? For me, I want to be wealthy. So I consciously decide to be wealthy. I want to be great. I want to make impact. I want to touch lives. All right. I want to bring a smile on the faces of people. So on a daily basis, I work on that consciously to become what I want to be. So you need to take time to add value to yourself, because if you don't have value, you can't give value. You can't give what you don't have. When you are not valuable, people won't value you. So you become valueless. If you don't add value to yourself, you are not valuable. And when you're not valuable, people won't value you. So you become valueless. So if you want to give value, then you must add value to yourself. And when you add value to yourself, you will become valuable. Stay with us in our next episode as we continue on this series.